FC Dallas returns for their only home match in September on Saturday night as New York City FC comes to Frisco. How has a shift in formation led to Dallas's recent success, and what can FCD do to shut down some of the biggest names in soccer? We'll discuss it next in Keys to the Match, driven by Toyota. As Dallas heads into the final 8 games of the regular season, it's a tight race in the Western Conference playoff battle, with the top 6 teams separated by just 6 points, and Houston and San Jose, playoff hopefuls, sitting just outside. The all-important playoff seeding is completely up for grabs right now.
Yeah, and that win against Columbus last week was so huge for FC Dallas because it keeps them within striking distance of those top spots in the Western Conference and gives them some breathing room above that red line right below the 6th place last playoff spot. And for Dallas, with 2 tough games coming up on the road after this against Kansas City and LA, a win on Saturday is absolutely essential if FC Dallas wants to stay within touching distance of that top spot and even maybe the Supporter Shield.
Without a dynamic player in the midfield like Mauro Diaz, Dallas has shifted back to their old ways of late, moving to a 4-4-2 formation like we saw last year, as opposed to a 4-2-3-1 formation like we've seen recently this year. Daniel, how has that shift really helped with their success for the last 2 weeks?
Well, it's made them a much more dynamic team on the counterattack, and having those 2 forwards up front to pair together has worked really well. We've seen David Teixeira paired with both Tesho Akindele and Michael Barrios in recent weeks. You have numbers forward when you win the ball back, and it's also made them a better team defensively. They have 2 forwards hassling that back line, and then while they lose some possession in the 4-4-2, FC Dallas has proven they're not necessarily a team that needs possession to be effective.
Turning our eyes to the opponent, NYCFC has been very active in their first season, signing big-name stars such as Andrea Pirlo and David Villa, but the individual success has not exactly translated to team success on the field.
Right, and both expansion teams have had trouble this year. Orlando City isn't doing much better than NYCFC, but FC Dallas has to be careful not to take these guys lightly. Both Pirlo and Frank Lampard are definitely still capable of making those plays that decide games, even if they're having some trouble adjusting to MLS, where David Villa has instantly proven that he's one of the best forwards in the league. And I think the key for Dallas is to get an early goal. If you force New York City FC, with their experience, you might say, to have to chase the game, that could work out very well for Dallas playing on the counterattack.
Saturday's match will be shown locally on TXA 21 with Bob Sturm and Steve Jolly on the call. The TV broadcast will air on a tape delay, or you can tune in live to the radio broadcasts in English on 100.7 FM, The Word with Steve Davis, or in Spanish on 1270 AM, La Voz del Pueblo, with your host, Carlos Alvarado.
Well, that does it for this week. For Keys to the Match, driven by Toyota, I'm Carter Baum.
And I'm Daniel Robertson. We'll see you next time.